This may be a really bad idea, but we'll find out. Right then, a bit of a strange one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn a clock out of this piece of wood. Now, I'm not sure what this is. I think it's either oak or elm. It's been sitting in the wood store for years. But what I want to do is I want to keep the natural shape of it, right? So basically, I want to insert this clock there, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the bandsaw and I'm going to cut a cookie off of this, because as I said, I want to keep the shape. And then I'm going to turn the back, turn the front, and insert that clock in there, because I think it will look quite interesting. So we're going to head over to the bandsaw and cut this cookie off and we get started. Right then, we got our cookie, and basically the clock is going to go about there. Alright, as I said, I want to keep this natural looking because I think that is quite an interesting shape on the outside. It's also pretty smooth, so I don't think I'm going to do much sanding out there. Right. Now, I would normally hold this with a faceplate, but the faceplate is too big for the back of this saw, or for the back of this clock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it in a worm screw. Right, now we're on the worm screw. Right. And all I want to do here is face off here and cut a mortise into it, so that I'm trying to keep the natural shape of this wood. It's something I always wanted to try. Another slight cut, I'd say. But as I said, this is either elm or oak. It's been down the back of the wood store for years, and to be honest, I can't even remember where I got it. Alright, nice fresh edge to get a clean cut. We're going to be quite a simple turning, but as I said, it's something interesting that I haven't done before. Right, I'm going to sand that, and then we cut the oh no, I won't. I'll cut the thing first. Now, I'm toying with the idea of maybe making the face interesting by cutting some grooves or something in it, but I'm not sure at the moment. I mightn't, you know, that way. So it's hard to feel away. Still good? Yeah, we are. Right. I think that's sort of coming loose. Do it? Do it a little bit. Smaller one, take a smaller bite off of it, because I have a worm screw basically going into end grind, and this wood is quite hard. It's going to have a tendency to come loose, so I would have preferred to use a faceplate on this, but for the finished piece it wouldn't look good to have 4 screw holes in it. Alright. So just a little bit of patience. I'm doing something slowly, and I will get my mortise cut. Now I just have to cut in the dovetail. Slowly and gently again. Right, this is what I would class as the dodgy part of this turning, is actually turning this side because it's only held on that worm screw. Now if I was coming in this way, this would hold really tightly and it wouldn't be a problem, but because I'm into end grind, basically it that worm screw can come loose. It's something, if you are using a worm screw on end grind, very, very light cuts. Right, I'll sand this and I'll be back in a sec. Right, just buffing the wax off this side, and I'm leaning back towards oak now on this, as the colour is off for elm. But that's basically the way the back of the clock is going to look. I'm trying to leave all this, like this bit of bark breaking off and all that, I'm trying to leave all that alone. I have an idea for doing something with the outside here. Don't know if it's going to work, and we'll sort out the base when we flip it over. So off this worm screw now. Right, flip it over, we'll stick it in the chuck. See the way that's, the threads are up there pulling all that out, how easily it crumbles. That's because it's basically an end grind piece. Now, I'm just going to face off here, put the hole in for the clock. And then polish it up. This is actually going to be a very quick video because there isn't a whole hell of a lot of turning. But what I think what I want to do here is I want to contrast the smooth outside worked wood, or the smooth, I want to contrast the smooth worked wood on the face and the back with the unworked wood on the outside. I think it'll look quite nice. Out here I'm cutting quite a bit of air. Now back into solid wood. Now we'll do the same here, we'll sand it and finish it, and then cut the hole for the clock to go in. Right, so I'll sand and finish this and I'll be right back. Right then, we've gone down as far as the Yorkshire grit, and I also sanded the base of this. I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with the outside of it, but I definitely want to keep like that split there because it looks so natural. Right, the back of these clocks, I got these clocks for a specific reason, that this back is tiny on them, right? And they take one of the little, little button batteries. But the main reason I got these ones rather than my normal ones was because of the back of these, because I wanted to try and do some small clocks. Right, what I'm doing here is I'm measuring till I'm slightly smaller than that so that I can creep up on it. Right, so if I start cutting the hole in there and then creep up, it will guarantee that it's a good fit. To right. This end grind does not like to be cut directly into, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a gouge and I'm going to hollow this out a bit like I would a bowl, just to get rid of wood. End grind does not like to be worked straight into it. Right, so I'm just using a little spindle gouge here just to hog away some wood. And we're down to the end of the one screw, which is what I was aiming for. Now we start trying to take this out wider with the gouge because it's easier. I'm going to keep hitting that bottle with my hand. Then we can start shaping it then to be flat. Right, now we'll start making this edge square to accept the clock. Too high. My apologies if I'm casting a shadow. Yeah, right. I have a fair bit of leeway here to what I can cut off. Right, check that. So I just want to creep up on this. Just the part until to square up that back a little bit. Right, and we're in. Right. We are slightly loose actually. So I'm going to have to cut all this off and actually do that hole again. My own fault because I cut too much off. See the way it's slightly loose there? And that won't stay. Right, I'm going to have to recut this and go again. So I'll do that and I'll be right back. Okay then, we're finally back into it. And this is actually going to look good. Oh, we're a tight fit this time. That's the way it should have been the first time. Right. What I did there was, instead of nibbling, I basically took a big bite because I thought there was a lot more there than there was. And stuff happens. Right, so I'm going to sand this again and finish it, and we'll do the inside of that as well. Right, so I'll do that and I'll be back in a sec. Right then, just poking the wax off this. I'm getting what I want, which is the contrast between the worked wood and the unworked wood. But that is lovely down there. That is absolutely feels like glass. Right, now, this is what I was saying earlier that I had an idea for outside of this. I'm going to just sand that with 120 and 240. I just want to take any dirt that's on it off. Right, then I'm going to put some sanding sealer on it, I'm not going to Yorkshire grit it because I said I just want it clean. I'm going to put some sanding sealer on it, and then I'm going to see if it will buff using the buffing wheel. This may be a really bad idea, but we'll find out. Right then, it's sanded and sanding sealed and waxed. And now I have a slight problem. I can't find the buffing wheel. I know it's in here somewhere, but I haven't used it in years. So what I'm going to have to actually end up doing is hand buffing this. So I'll be back in a minute. Right then, a lot of elbow grease later, and it's buffed. Just a little bit there. I've got to find that buffing wheel. I know it's in here somewhere. I said I haven't used it in years. It's something I don't often use. But she's buffed to a shine. And it's more of a sheen than a shine, because as I said, what I'm after here is contrast. I want shiny, sheen, shiny. Right, I'll take this off, pop the clock into it, and give you a better look at it. So I'll be back in a sec. Right, there we have it, a nice little mantle clock that keeps the natural shape of the wood. Right. I didn't wax the piece of bark that stayed on, because again, we're after contrast here. There's the back. Right. I like the way it slopes up a little bit there at the front. But so something a bit different. You might like to try it. To actually do something would keep the outside the actual shape of the tree it was. It was an interesting one to do. I wish I'd have found that buffing wheel, because I could have maybe got a better sheen there. But I was trying to avoid getting a high shine, because I want the high shine here and here and not here. But I hope you enjoyed that one. If you got anything out of it, if you wouldn't mind clicking like on the video, subscribe if you want. And I'll see you in the next one.